we present to you a culturally significant book from the collection of the Tumen Regional Scientific Library named after Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, Conversations on the Plurality of Worlds by Bernard Le Bovier de Fontenelle. Bernard de Fontenelle was a French writer and scientist born in February 1657 and didn't live to have his 100th birthday, only be 1 month. He was a lawyer by profession until an initial setbacks caused him to abandon law and take up playwriting. Sadly, his plays were unsuccessful as they were quite plain. However, his first book, Dialogues of the Ancient Dead and Present-Day People, drew the attention. His influential work, Conversations on the Plurality of Worlds, appeared 3 years later to even greater acclaim. His books is written as a series of praiseful dialogues between the author and certain marquises. They discuss the formation of the planets, their motion in the solar system, and the heliocentric model. According to Fontenelle, all planets were inhabited with the exception of the suns, which served to illuminate the galaxy. The first evening, they have a discussion. They come to the conclusion that Earth is a planet rotating on its axis whilst orbiting the Sun. The second evening is devoted to the Moon. Fontenelle insists the Moon is inhabited. The Marquise argues that the Moon is not at all similar to the Earth, it is cloudless, and its seas may be nothing of the kind. Both the third and fourth evenings touch upon Mars and Venus, which are both inhabited according to Marquise's guest. He asserts that they have their own satellite bodies and orbit the Sun. During the fifth evening, the boundaries of inquiry are greatly expanded. He explains to the Marquise that the stars they see are indeed the same as our Sun and may in fact have their own planets. For the sixth and final evening, the earlier themes are explored in greater detail, making Conversations on the Plurality of Worlds a comprehensive and witty course in astronomy embracing literature, history, and philosophy. The work proved to be a huge success, and it was translated into almost all European languages. The Russian translator of the book, a famous satirist Antioch Kantemir, was as equally talented as Fontenelle. He not only translated Conversations, but supplemented the work with invaluable notes, which helped to educate the unprepared Russian reader in technical terms, geography, and references to other works quoted. The author's ideas were thoroughly made clear. Appearing on the front page is the entry 1730, St. Petersburg. It was taken as the date of its translation. For many years, the date was also taken as the year of its publication. However, during restoration process, evidence was uncovered giving a publication date of 1740. You can see here how the restoration was going on. The page were practically destroyed. Until the beginning of the 19th century, books were printed on fabric-laid paper without the addition of wood pulp. Production was therefore very expensive, and the possession of books was a real luxury. Printed books were only affordable to the wealthy class. A peculiar fact about this book, kept in the Tumen Regional Scientific Library, is that in 1756 the Holy Synod of Russia, or the denunciation of M.P. Abramov, banned Conversations, seeing the work as satanic deceit and composition that is contrary to holy faith, that disagrees with honest rules and truth. Not only was it simply unthinkable to claim that the Earth is a sphere and orbits the Sun, but to have such conversation with a woman. All the copies of the book they could find were confiscated and destroyed. Later on, of course, the book was lawfully published again, so one may find more copies of later publications. The one of the Tumen Library proudly owns dates back to the time period when it was strictly banned and few copies survived. This makes the book rare and unique. But while the Holy Synod recognized the book as seditious, the poets of the 18th century, on the contrary, saw it as the evidence of God creating the universe and all that exists. In 2021, the library donated a digital copy of the book to the National Electronic Library. Now, any visitor to the portal can view this unique edition in the finest detail from their computer or smartphone from any part of our country. As part of the collection of rare books of the Tumen Regional Scientific Library, this edition is enclosed in a protective, acid-free container eliminating external destructive atmospheric effects on the fabric of the book. It is stored in a strictly horizontal position in the area with a special climatic controls. You can read more about Bernard de Fontenelle's conversation on the plurality of worlds in accordance with the rules of using documents from the rare book collection.